have not lost a game of the division all year, and they are the champions of the NFC North.
To be back on top of the North after a couple years being down feels great. To win in this stadium, where a couple years ago I was jeered leaving the field after breaking my collarbone, feels pretty good.
I'm not going to get into this Kirk Cousins on Monday night thing and all this stuff. Offensively, we didn't play as well as we can play. I'll say that.
Okay, so the Packers, with that game, have played 9 games this year against teams with winning records, and that is their mark in them. The best record of any team in the NFL this year, and it's a big reason why they are in play for the #1 seed in the NFC. And so, Damien Woody, as you watch them play and you watch what appears to be not Aaron Rodgers at his absolute apex, but still some magic moments and a defense that is getting after the quarterback and Aaron Jones running it, just how good are the Green Bay Packers?
The Green Bay Packers are scary because the one aspect of their team that's kind of the unknown is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been more of a complimentary guy than the Aaron Rodgers that we've been accustomed to in the past. I mean, we saw some throws last night that were off target, and you're sitting there thinking, wow, this is not the Aaron Rodgers that is universally talked about as one of the best, or maybe the best quarterback in the National Football League. And I think the scary part of it is if Aaron Rodgers gets hot, to go along with the Green Bay Packers defense and Aaron Jones rushing the football, this team could absolutely find its way into the Super Bowl.
Dan, why is Aaron Rodgers missing some of these throws that he wouldn't have in the past?
Yeah, it's the story the last 2 months. It's just four plays a game of just close misses. Now, it's a little bit of Aaron Rodgers' he's never been the fundamental technician that we know of Tom Brady or Drew Brees, right? And as he's gotten older, some of those fundamentals have forced some misses. Then there's some miscommunication between him and some of the receivers. And then there's just some missed throws. There's different location. He expects a guy to be somewhere and the guy's not there, or Aaron just misses it. This is rare for Aaron Rodgers and this offense. And so there's drops, there's a missed throw, there's a drop by a receiver, there's a miscommunication. But this has been the story for 2 months. And to D. Wood's point, the Packers are a good team. They have the potential to be a dominant team. They have the potential to be the top dog in the NFC. And I know that's saying a lot because we saw the graphic. They're 8-1 against really good teams. They're 12-3. If they connect on 4 more plays a game, they're not winning games. They're dragging people. They're whooping teams. And that's got to be at least a little bit getting your attention if you're the NFC. At the end of the day, they got to make the plays because they haven't for 2 months. But they're there to be made.
If you're looking at the big teams in the NFC, let's say Seattle, has fallen a little bit off by the wayside. If you're looking at New Orleans, Green Bay, and San Francisco, here's the first thought I have. You say you want Aaron Rodgers to get hot. I think he's better off if it's cold, really cold, meaning he needs that game at Lambeau Field and not in the Superdome if he plays New Orleans. You don't like Drew Brees there. But the real question is San Francisco, because the 8-1, that one was a shellacking when they went up to Santa Clara, and that is the team I don't think they want to see.
Well, it's important for us to also stop looking at the Green Bay Packers in the same lens as we have for 15 years. We've always thought of the Green Bay Packers, they get carried by Aaron Rodgers, and they're not really a good football team. They're a complete team. They can run the football. Their offensive line's outstanding. Their defense can play well. And to your point, Greeny, you want to have that great game in Green Bay. You want everyone to come to you. Aaron Rodgers is comfortable there. They know how it is to not only play there, but play playoff football there. And you want to force teams. That's a tough. I've played December football games there. That is a brutally tough place to play, not only because of the weather, but just the feel, the vibe, the crowd. And again, Rodgers knows how to handle that moment.
D-Wood, you said that these Packers could be a Super Bowl team if Rodgers really does get hot. How much confidence do you have, though, that he can do that, in your confidence in this team in the postseason?
Well, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about the all-time great of this generation. So it definitely can happen. But I'm just going back to the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers play bully ball. They can run. They're second league in rushing, and that front four can get after everyone. And they got the top-rated pass defense in the National Football League. So to Greeny's point, I don't think anyone really wants to see the 49ers in the postseason.
All right, so right now at the top of the NFC standings, you're looking at San Francisco, you're looking at New Orleans, you're looking at the Packers off their win last night, and then there's Seattle. They've got injury problems, and where are they going to try to address that?
This is interesting. Beast mode, Greeny, has returned to Seattle. Our Adam Schefter reporting that the Seahawks have signed Marshawn Lynch for the remainder of the regular and postseason. Now, Lynch, of course, played 6 years with the Seahawks from 2010 to to 2015, and he's one of the best running backs in Seahawks history. His 4 Pro Bowls are the most by any Seattle back in team history, and if Marshawn suits up for the playoffs, since 2010, no running back has rushed for more yards in the postseason than Lynch. So, Dan, they're obviously trying to find some magic here, signing Marshawn Lynch. What type of impact do you expect this to have for the Seahawks?
Well, he's not going to be the player he was years ago, but he's averaged over the last 2 years, he's averaged over 4 yards a carry. If Marshawn Lynch gives the Seattle Seahawks 4 yards a carry, they will be very glad with that, because that's who they want to be. They want to be a physical, kind of grind you out, smash mouth, stay committed to the run football team, and then take some shots downfield. So I don't expect Marshawn Lynch to recreate, beast mode or that quake run against the Saints. But if he gives them some viable carries, 10, 15 carries a game, and just the feel of him running the football, they'll be thankful for it. I don't necessarily think it matters that much, though. For me, the Seattle Seahawks are tied to 1, Russell Wilson, and 2, Jadeveon Clowney. If Jadeveon Clowney is not healthy, we can see as many beast quake runs that we want, but the Seattle Seahawks defense is not going to be good enough for them to get or make their run in the playoffs that they expect to. So Lynch will have an impact, but Clowney has to be healthy. Clowney on the field, not only in the pass game, but in the run game, is paramount for Seattle's defense.
Yeah, we should make it clear that Carson and Procise are hurt, and that's one of the reasons they desperately need this help. So these guys never come back and are as good as they used to be. It just never seems to go that way. But it's better than nothing, and right now what they have is practically nothing. So you can't question the decision to try and go for it. But as far as Seattle is concerned, they have the best quarterback. I mean, Russell Wilson has played the best of any quarterback in the NFC this year. Do they have enough around him to be a legit threat in the playoffs?
I don't think they do. It's as much of a magician as Russell Wilson, because he covers up a lot of flaws within that Seattle roster. I don't know if it's enough to overcome, New Orleans with their defense, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, or the San Francisco 49ers with, their defense and their rushing attack and how Jimmy Garoppolo has been playing. So, again, I'll never put anything against Russell Wilson, but boy, they have some holes on their team.
And you know who they're going to miss? They are going to miss Josh Gordon. I know it sounds because he wasn't killing the stats. Josh Gordon was still a 6'3", 220-pound human that you had to pay attention to. Go watch the Arizona game. They could not throw the football down the field. They couldn't even stretch the field vertically in the pass game. So to D. Wood's point, I think it's a lot to ask Russell Wilson to overcome.
All right, so those are the sort of the big contenders in the NFC, and then there's the division that someone has to win. Let's talk about the Eagles. Their postseason fate now finally in their hands after beating Dallas 17-9. A matchup with the Giants is all that stands between them and the NFC East title. A win over them or a Cowboys loss to Washington would lock up the playoffs for the Eagles. Let's take a look at the Eagles' FPI chances of winning the division. That's our analytics. They say Philly has a 73% chance to get in over Dallas. Dallas is still in play for the division crown. They need a win and a Philly loss to make the playoffs. And I have renamed the quarterback of the New York Giants for this week. He is no longer Danny Dimes. That's not telling the story. He's Danny Dollars.
Yes.
Dimes, not nearly enough. D. Wood, what do you see as we look at this thing? Oh, the delicious possibilities here. They both play in that 425 window, that NFC East battles. The Giants are playing pretty well of late. What chance do you give the Giants of spoiling the party against the banged-up Eagles?
Laura, I'm so glad I'm here today. I am so glad I'm here, because if you thought I was going to completely jump off the Dallas bandwagon, no, you are mistaken right now. Listen, the way the Giants and the weapons that they have on offense, they can absolutely beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles team. As great as Carson Wentz has played, this is still a depleted Philadelphia Eagles team. And you're going up against a New York Giants team with Danny Dollars out there, Saquon Barkley dropping dimes on people out there. This is a team that have nothing. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nothing. Those are the scariest teams to play, especially the last game when everything is decided. I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys this morning.
You're going to take the Cowboys to win the division.
I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys.
Obviously I'm taking the Eagles.
Oh, we know you're taking the Eagles.
Going on the road will be difficult, but I'm hoping they get Lane Johnson back. And I'll say the same thing I said last week. I don't think that the coach and the quarterback are going to let them lose this game. I think that they're uber confident in themselves and the people around them. The defensive line for the Eagles has got to come into play because Daniel Jones, I mean, they scored 41 last week. Daniel Jones has been lighting it up, you know, before he got injured and obviously coming back last week. If Lane Johnson comes back.
What, are you going to go out and play